Hey guys, what's up? We are back here with another video today, and today I am doing my Miami preview and prediction. So as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Help me reach my goal of 600 subscribers before the end of the summer. I'm about 80 subscribers away. Like this video if you enjoy it. Comment all your thoughts and opinions down below. I will be gone when this video is released. I'll be gone over the summer, but I will be back in middle of August. I will be at a farm in Tennessee with no internet. So make sure that you put all your comments, your predictions, and stuff like that. But there will constantly be videos coming out every single week that I have pre-recorded, so make sure that you are checked out for those. So let's get started with today's video. Oh, one more thing. If you would like your team's prediction to come out, I will be putting out a bunch more in August when I return, so make sure that you put your team and I will do them down below. So let's get started. Miami starts off their season with two easy games, one against Bethune-Cookman, which I think they will win. Bethune-Cookman is not much competition. They play them because they're an in-state school with not much to play for. I don't see any struggle here. Then they have a home game against the Southern Miss Eagles. This is a little bit more of a difficult opponent, but not much more difficult. This should be a win. There shouldn't be much of a problem against the Golden Eagles. Then you head to Texas A&M to play the Aggies. I think that this will be a loss here. I think that the Aggies, they're obviously a very talented team, and with the new hiring of Mario Cristobal, I think it's going to be hard in his first year as head coach, even though he was prior the coach at Oregon. I think that it would be a big deal to get a win here, but I don't think that they're able to. I think Jimbo's in a better place, and I think A&M as a university is in the better place. Though I don't trust their quarterback position, but I also am not in full trust of the Miami quarterback position in the hands of Tyler Van Dyke. I don't have anything against him. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. My only problem with him is that I don't know if he'll live up to the standards that Miami sets in being a national championship contender. We will see as he goes into his sophomore year, and did show some promise in his freshman year. Then you head back home to play the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. Not much of a problem here. This is an easy school, unlike Vanderbilt. This should not be much of a problem. You should be able to get a win here. Then you head to one of a big test against North Carolina. I think that this is a big test and a big turning point, whether this season can be an elite season or just a good season. And the reason why I think it's such a turning point is because after the North Carolina game, you have games at Virginia Tech and Duke, which are not terribly difficult opponents. And if you could beat North Carolina, a team led by Mac Brown, you could start the season off 6-1, and if you start the season off 6-1, there's a lot of potential. This game is going to be a tough one. I think that Miami could have some advantages with this being a home game, but I think that Mac Brown, being the more experienced head coach, having his environment set in and stuff like that, I think Miami was going to struggle in this game, and I have this as a loss for the Hurricanes. Then you head to Virginia Tech and Blacksburg to play the Hokies. I think that if this is a night game against the Hurricanes, it could be a tougher matchup. But Brent Pry, the new hire at Virginia Tech, if I had to give grades, I would give the Mario Cristobal hire a B+, and I'd give the Brent Pry hire a C+. I think that Brent Pry, I don't know if he was the best candidate for the job. Virginia Tech, though, is a storied program in some sense with Frank Beamer. The problem with it is that I think right now they are not in as good position as they could before, and maybe Brent Pry turns into what Shane Beamer did at South Carolina, an unlikely hire that hadn't been a head coach before and seemed kind of out of the blue, turns into a good hire the way that Shane Beamer has at South Carolina. But right now, I don't think that this is a spot for Virginia Tech. I have them winning this game and Miami getting the W. Then they have a home game against Duke. This should not be much of a problem. Again, Mike Elko, I do like the hire. I give it a B. If I had to give it a grade, just because I think it's an above-average hire. He's a good coach, I think, but I don't think he's going to move this program to any elite status. I don't think he's a great head coach or a guy in the waiting of becoming the next Clemson head coach or Alabama head coach, stuff like that, and Mike Elko. But I do think he is a good hire, but Duke in particular, being at Notre Dame as their defensive coordinator and being at Texas A&M as their defense coordinator, two pretty highly thought of schools academically. Then you head to Virginia to play the Cavaliers, and this game being in Charlottesville is, I think, going to be a difficult test for the Hurricanes. I think that this is a good game for Miami to make a statement win, but the problem is I don't think they will. I think Miami is a good team in the ACC, but I don't think that they're fully ready to contend as the ACC Coastal representative in the ACC Championship. I think that with Brennan Armstrong coming back, even though Tony Elliott is also a first-year head coach, and I don't like him as much as I like Mario Cristobal, I think that Brennan Armstrong is a better quarterback than Tyler Van Dyke so far. Maybe that could change by the end of the year, and Tyler Van Dyke proves me wrong completely, and you win a game like this in Charlottesville. But right now, I have this as a loss, heading into a home game and a rivalry game against the Florida State Seminoles. I think that this is a win. I think even though Norvell is a rising head coach to a degree, I don't think he is rising fast enough to be able to catch up to Miami. Miami is just a more talented team just generally. Florida State has struggled to get a lot of elite recruits, and they even lost their best recruit, the cornerback, to Deion Sanders. Obviously, there were other factors in that with NIL and stuff like that, and with going to an HBCU, a historically black college. I think that Miami's able to get the win here over their rival, especially with this being a home game at Coral Gables. Then you head to Atlanta to play the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. This is going to be a win here. I don't see much of an issue. I think Georgia Tech is really going to struggle this year with a team with still a lacking identity with Jeff Collins, as he's had a really difficult job with Paul Johnson leaving. I think that it's not his issue as a bad coach, but I do think he was put in a rough situation coming in and having to fix the triple option and stuff like that and turning it into a pro-style system. I do think that there are some struggles there. But that leads us into the biggest matchup of the season, and this game is at Clemson. If you win this game, this is a season-defining game in the later part of the season that could maybe get you into the ACC championship discussion with a 6-2 conference record, but both of your losses are against coastal members in Virginia and North Carolina who could compete. But maybe if you win one of those games, and maybe if you beat a Clemson, you could really be competing for the ACC championship. Maybe a playoff bid if you're 11-1. But if you're 10-2, no, you would be looking at a more New Year's Six Bowl bid. But that would be a very successful year for Mario Cristobal in his first year. But I do think that this is going to be a loss, with this game being at Death Valley, with it being against Dabo and a first-year head coach at his new organization or at his new university. If Mario Cristobal had been here for 3 or 4 years, or I like Tyler Van Dyke a little bit more, maybe this game is competitive enough for a win. But I think with it being at Death Valley, being against a highly tiered coach in Dabo Swinney, and being a game in which maybe Clemson offense will show up, maybe they won't, but I think their defense is a little bit too much to handle for Miami, especially that front seven. Then you have your final game, a home game against Pitt. I think that you will win this game. I think that Pat Narduzzi is critically overrated. I know a lot of people like him, but I think he is overrated a lot more than most people think. So I have this as a win here for the Hurricanes, as they will come to the end of the season with an 8-4 record, looking at a solid bowl game. And if you could win that bowl game, ending the season with a 9-4 record, you look very respectable heading into year 2 of Mario Cristobal. And if you get an 8-4 record, I think you're satisfied as a Miami fan, but you're not terribly happy just because you are kind of looking for a 10-win season on a more consistent basis. But again, this is the first year of Mario Cristobal, but he has had prior jobs at Oregon. So that pretty much wraps up today's video. Hit the 2 videos down below. Well, one's going to be a playlist. And then make sure you hit the subscribe button up here. And as always, have a great day. Bye.